As a social media manager, you should have a portfolio. Yes, it's okay to have like a resume, but if you don't have a portfolio, you're literally like the 1,000 people or millions of people that have resumes, and you would never stand out when it comes to applying for a job or pitching to a client. How exactly do you create a portfolio? In my last video or one of the previous videos, I showed you how to create a portfolio, or I explained how to create a portfolio without even actually having experience. But I've gotten a whole lot of questions on how to go about it, and I've decided that in this video I am going to be walking you through and showing you my own portfolio and what are the things that I kept in the portfolio and how you can also create yours. If you want to see my portfolio and you want to learn or learn from seeing my own portfolio and learn how to create your own, keep watching. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell, because I drop videos every single week teaching you how to use social media the right way, and I am changing the narrative around social media management. So let's go right into my screen and let's start creating. So you want to start your portfolio with an introduction. So I am saying social media portfolio, and my name is Omabalaji Ajibare. So you want to put your name there, and you can see somewhere in the corner is saying Omabalaji Ajibare marketing portfolio. So you just want to put something that you can put like a basic design. This is just like me just using different circles, solid colors, and the transparent or the translucent color. So my brand colors are green, different brand colors, and this was created in Canva. So you also like, you can just play around with it if you want to. You want to have your introductory page so that you know what it is. Then the next page should be hello, I am Omabalaji. I'm a content creator and social media marketing expert based in Manchester, United Kingdom. You want to write where you're based, the country, the state, wherever you're based, and you want to also talk about the niches. So I said I have collaborated with brands across different sectors such as beauty, fashion, food and beverage, coaching, and also the wedding industry. So you want them to know. So if you're like sending it to a client that you've worked with before, or maybe you're sending it to a prospective client in a different industry that you work with, you want to also like list that industry and remove the ones that are not actually needed there. Let's talk about your enthusiasm. So I said my enthusiasm for creation and eagerness to like stay updated with the latest social media marketing trends motivate me to continuously learn. So this is just letting them, just put in a statement there so that it doesn't look, because if I remove this last part, it looks really short. Then you want to attach a picture of you. This is just a picture of me that I took sometime last year. Now the next part is my resume. Now you want to put in your work experience, the parts that you put in your normal resume. You want to put in your work experience, your certifications, and your technical skills. My work experience, you want to start with the ones that are the present ones that you're doing. So you're going to arrange it from where you're currently working to where you started from. So basically, I kept in the way I'm currently working, which is the social media community manager for Pastor Seed Family, and the freelance social media manager, the social media guard. And you can see both of them are present. Then the ones that I have done in the past, I put them there from the start date to the end date. Also, you want to put in your certifications. My certifications are from Udemy. You want to put in the relevant ones, basically, because you might have loads of certifications, but you don't want to like, how would I say it, bombard these certifications in your portfolio. Now, there are other portfolios I've seen that they have like a page for certificates. Normally, like they've downloaded certificates, then they attach the certificates in the particular portfolio. If you don't want to do that, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I feel like it just increases the number of pages on your portfolio. Mine is 19 pages, and maximum your portfolio should be 20 pages. And I have like 9 years of experience as a social media manager. So your portfolio, you don't want people to be scrolling over so many pages. Now, I kept my certifications there. I kept the dates I got the certifications. Also, my technical skills. Now, for technical skills, you want to put the apps that you're proficient with, the apps that you can use. As you can see here, some of the apps that I kept are Canva, Airtable, Later, Plannerly, Flowdesk, Notion, CapCut, Lightroom, Substack, Hootsuite, and Meta Business Suite. So you want to put the apps that you can use as part of your technical skills. So there's so many other apps, you can put them there. Just make sure that it fits, because they're actually going to like be viewing this portfolio like they're reading your resume. It's your digital resume, your literally your graphical resume. Now, the next thing is you want to put in your hard skills and your soft skills. Now, I see a lot of people put that on their portfolio, but you don't have enough space on your resume to put your hard skills and your soft skills. So my hard skills are video editing, content creation, graphic design, YouTube SEO, Instagram SEO, community management, email marketing. These are the things that I am good at, things that I can offer the client. Then my soft skills are like the things that they might not really see. I'm a critical thinker, a problem solver, empathy. I am emotionally intelligent. Customer service and community engagement is me. Storytelling and communication, adaptability and flexibility, strategic thinking and planning. You want to just list out some of these skills so that the clients will like, okay, if this is what they're looking for, if this is, because trust me, every company or every client out there or brand or business or organization have hard skills and soft skills they're looking for when it comes to working with employees or working with freelancers. So you want to make sure that you put it there for them. Don't skip this page. You need to have your hard skills and your soft skills on the page. Next, you want to have brands you've worked with. And if you're a new social media manager that doesn't have brands they've worked with, that's fine. For my brands that I've worked with, I just got like the logos of some of those brands that I can remember, because there are a lot of brands. And come and think of it, there are a lot of brands that I cannot remember that I have worked with. And I just turned all of them to black and white, basically, because I just wanted it to fit my aesthetic. If I leave the colors there, it's going to be too colorful and I don't want it to be like that. So I just turned everything to black and white, basically. And you can see it actually looks good and it fits my aesthetic for my portfolio. Now, this is the most important part of your portfolio, which is case studies. Now, for your portfolio, a lot of people be like before and after of an Instagram feed, and like how scattered an Instagram feed was, or how beautiful it becomes now. We don't care about that aesthetic. We want to see the result. What were you able to do? And I'm going to show you here in my own case studies. So for case studies, I picked the church event that I worked on, and which is Festival of Praise. Now, the Festival of Praise Manchester, I wrote about what the Festival of Praise is, because trust me, you cannot assume that your client knows who this client is or who these people are. You want to explain, and that's where the introduction part comes in. So I wrote that the Festival of Praise is a vibrant Christian event hosted by Jubilee Church Manchester, and I talked about what they do, that this dynamic gathering aims to bring people together from all walks of life, celebrating faith, industry, blah, 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 and blah. Now, the next thing I want to see is what I did. If I'm a client, I want to see what did you do for them? What was the approach you take? And what were the results that you did? And you can see here, I talked about the approach I took, which was I collaborated with the production team to strategize the optimal way to promote the event in real time. Additionally, I was responsible. You want to talk about what it is that you did. I was responsible for recording and editing videos scheduled to be broadcasted live on social media platforms during the event. Then I talked about the approach. I made sure to capture behind the scene moments and audience reactions to actually enhance engagement. Like when my client is reading, they'll be like, oh my God, she actually knows what she's doing. Then I also talked about the results, and this is why screenshots should be your friend. I was able to get this result because I took screenshots of the page and I was able to calculate. You sit down most times and calculate the number of views, or you can just check from a particular period to a particular period to see the total views that you've gotten and every single thing. Instagram gives you that option. I checked the post shares, the account reach, and the total account post likes. So you want to put that there in your results. And if you want to attach like screenshots, it's fine. But I feel like I wanted to stick to a particular aesthetic, so I did not need to attach any particular screenshots also. And this is also very good for you if your client doesn't want you to like share, how would I say it? They don't want you to share like their insights, basically, maybe because you signed an NDA and everything. You can just put in the number of views and everything. This just helps you to put that client on your portfolio and let the prospective client or the prospective organization or the prospective interviewer know that actually you know what you're doing. The next thing you want to do in your case study is put examples. As you can see here, these are videos that they can play. I'm not going to play it so that you don't hear it. You can see as I'm over and over it. These are some of the top videos that actually did well. So you can put that in your case study. It just cements the fact that you did that. it cements the fact that you were the ones that did this video. Please don't put videos that you've not created yourself. I was the one that created and edited all these videos that you see in this portfolio. The next one is my clients, which is, so for case studies, you might ask how many do you want, but I'll say maximum 2 to 3, which is fine for you. You can do 2 to 3 case studies where you go in depth, and then you can have different case studies. So if you do copywriting, if you do content creation, if you do email marketing, you can put case study for all these 3 different things. Now the next one is a fashion brand. So I let it, I said I was doing I forgot to put religious, so I'll put religion also there. Fashion brand, I talked about what I did for her, and here instead of what I did, I just kept the heading as Instagram management. And at the end part of the second paragraph, I said I was tasked with managing their Instagram page as well as creating and editing content to actually go up on the page. So I also talked about my approach and the results I got. And you can see here, this is way different from how I should whatever I should here, because I wasn't literally the one managing this page. I wasn't the only one. But for this one, I was able to put in more and like say more because I was the one that managed the page. So I said these results are 100% organic, and I started managing the account with 0 followers. So I talked about the impressions, the engagement, the account reach, and the total number of followers I was able to gain for the brand. I also kept in some of the videos I talked about, because I made a lot of behind the scene videos for the clients, and I did that. And I talked about here that I was able to tell a story, like each bride's journey began with the fittings, sometimes showcasing the creation of their traditional wedding attires, and culminates on their special day. So it's like literally a story, and anybody that is looking at it will be like, oh my God, she actually knows what she's doing, because I'm able to present that this was what I did for the brand. And this actually helps the client or whoever is looking at your portfolio to know that, okay, this person can actually give me this particular result that I am looking for. Next one, you can see this heading is called content creation. And this was Festival of Life. Festival of Praise is different from Festival of Life. And this is Festival of Life. And I talked about that I worked with the production team to create and edit videos about every session during the event. And literally there was no result or anything, because all I did was not post on the page. I just created videos and I edited it and I kept in my work there. Next one, in-feed graphics. You want to show your client that you know how to do graphics. So I talked about when this particular brand approached me to just create graphics for them. And I talked about, she reached out to me to develop a 2-week content plan for a brand that focuses on women empowerment and showcasing the remarkable achievements of women worldwide. She provided me with 3 primary colors to incorporate, and I created the designs based on her guidelines. Additionally, I conducted the content research independently, meaning that the client did not give me any content to work with. And I was the one that actually researched the content, designed the content, and made sure that it looked presentable for social media. And I kept my examples there. In-feed graphics for a different brand where this one sells air product. You want to state what it is the client was looking for, how you were able to interpret the brief, and what it is that you created. I also kept in-feed graphics for a food brand that I work with, a food and beverage brand that I work with, because you want to state that this is what the client wanted and this is what I was able to do. Finally, testimonials. A lot of people, it's a struggle getting testimonial from your clients. Trust me, I know, but you need to ask maybe the 1 or 2 that are willing to give you testimonials. Please collect from them. So I was able to get from Lekon Akinola, the CEO of Abuki Gadgets, and he wrote a very good statement for me. And anybody that reads it will be like, okay. And then I got one from Titi Adeboye also, which is the head chief of Mimi's. And you can see here, she first started with, she wasn't really sugarcoating. She's like, I've truly valued Bolaji's openness to feedback, because she gave me a lot of feedback about what she wanted. And it was able to cement the fact that not everybody would because at first I'm like, I had troubles. Well, it wasn't troubles. There was a conflict of interest working with her. So you want to actually be very honest about the feedbacks that you get and put them in your portfolio. Put the not so good and the good ones, so that people know that, okay, you're not just trying to sugarcoat it, even though you're trying to sell yourself in the best possible way. And then I ended it with the let's work together call to action. Now, this was created in Canva, and I'm going to preview this template and show you how it looks like. social media portfolio. I think, no, not just preview. I'm going to publish this website, and I'm going to republish the website. So you need to have like a domain. I have a domain which is like the social media oga.com. Yeah, but this is a portfolio I want to be sending to clients. So yeah, normally I should use it on my website, but my website already hosts my courses. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I can just use Canva, and you can create yours for free on Canva. If you're using free Canva, you can use the free elements on Canva. And I'm going to be selling this, my particular portfolio template, with some other additional extras for a fee. It's going to be very affordable. Just use the code portfolio template, and you can edit it to fit your brand, your suit, and everything. So you can delete some of my pages. It's going to be showing my own example, and also showing you like a particular template that you can use. And some of the examples that I discussed, like for example, the certificate one is going to be showing you some examples of how you can incorporate that. And it's just going to be very free. Just use the code portfolio, the coupon code for portfolio, and you get like a discount off it. So let's view the website. And you can see here, anybody that views it, you can see it says social media organ my portfolio, and they scroll, and they can literally just scroll towards it. And you see, it looks really good. And one thing I was able to do when I was designing was make sure that the portfolio is still loading, because my logos are not showing. Why is it not showing? Okay, still loading. Let me refresh it. I was able to make sure that everything was evenly spaced. Now, something about creating the portfolio, which I would show you, was it's still loading, and you can see most of the videos are playing depending on your internet speed, basically. But I'm also going to like, I'm not going to link my portfolio for you guys, because anybody that buys it will be able to see it. So you can see that the videos are playing, so that the clients will be able to like watch the videos and say, oh yes, she was able to like create that. So it's probably still loading, but yeah. One thing I'm going to say when you're creating your portfolio template is make use of these sliders. These sliders help you to either reduce the space of your portfolio or increase the space. And that was what I was able to do here. This resume, normally it should be a very big page, but I needed to reduce it so that it moves from one page to the other page. And same here with the brands I've worked with. Same here with the brands I've worked, and I can even move this up a little bit. Same here with the case studies. So you can move it up a little bit, and that's how you create your portfolio that actually stands out. Okay, let's see. Yes, it has really loaded. Everything has loaded, as you can see. So when you want to when you're sending your resume, you can tell them in your resume, you can link it. You can put a link to your portfolio. If you're sending your resume, please make sure you send your resume in PDF format. And maybe in a particular video, another video, I'm going to show you what my resume looks like, and probably just give out a resume template also. And that's it, guys. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to leave me a comment if you have any questions about creating your portfolio. Like I said, I am going to be giving out this portfolio at a very reduced price. If you use the coupon code portfolio, for as long as you use it, is going to be on the reduced price. You also get other options that I did not include in my portfolio. I hope this video helps you create your portfolio, and if you have more questions, you can ask me in the comment section. If you found this video helpful, you can share it with your community. You can share it everywhere, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. Just let people come watch and create their portfolio. And that's it for today. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.